Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm currently preparing to work out, drinking the pre-workout and getting ready. And I was like, we're going to have a little conversation today. So a lot of you who have probably been on my threads, if you're on YouTube, then you haven't seen this. If you're watching on Facebook, then you have seen this. I was sharing about an experience I had in the labs. Okay, two very different experiences at two different testing stations with this obsession with the masking and the requirement for that. And that's not what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about exactly what this title implies, which is that our obsession with the mind and experts and glorified pieces of paper, which is what they are. I have one and I still think it's that. Has effectively killed our ability to deduce things for ourselves. And I think we need to have this conversation because it's getting increasingly more obvious that we have confused expertise for intention, okay? And they aren't the same. Let's begin there. So first of all, if you're watching, please say hi so I can say hi to you. I see a couple of you are on, but I can't see comments. So I'm going to pull up the comment thread on my phone and lower the volume so that I can at least watch you guys and then comment back. Okay. Here's the thing. And this came up in my thread yesterday when I was talking about, hey, Elizabeth, you have science, which, as taught to us, is a series of theories and laws, premises put together by humans. You go to school and they teach you these things and they tell you this is how science works. Okay? First of all, where all that information comes from is just a bunch of other humans, right? So we don't really know where did our understanding of current science come from. Maybe it came from these people. Maybe it came... I believe the truth of where our science came from is we don't even know where it came from, frankly. We have been handed down information over and over again and just told, this is how it works, this is how it works, this is how it works. And we're just like, okay, you're a certified, accredited university. You obviously know what you're talking about. And we just receive the information and we just take our little tests and pass and get our certificates and ask no more questions and just go on with our day, right? That's how we live. Here's the thing. You can have 20 people graduate with the same degree, right? Let's say biology. Let's just microbiology, biology. 20 graduates in microbiology. They all get the same certificate. They all went to the same college. They all graduated from the same rooms, got the same textbooks, got the same teachers, got the exact same education. Out of those 20 people, 5 of them are going to be dark-ass motherfuckers with twisted brains. The rest of them, other 15, might be very decent scientists that are going to go into their world and they're going to be like, I'm going to do this research. I'm going to get this job at this lab. I'm going to do what I'm told. I'm going to whatever and do my job, right? They just want to get a job. They like science. They're nerds, which is cool. And they're going to do their thing. But what about those other 5 with the same degrees? They're also going to get hired. And they're also going to end up in institutions that we look up to. And they're also, because of the way their brain works, going to want to move up. And they're going to want to get the recognition. And they're going to want to get more money. And they're going to get more authority. And they're going to work for it. These other scientists might as well, but they don't have the same drive. See, evil has a different drive. It has a different ambition. It's never satisfied. It's just all in to consume, right? So they're going to, with the same piece of paper, get into the same types of jobs and create chaos. Chaos. Do you understand how easy it is to doctor papers? Do you understand how easy it is to lie about scientific research? Do you understand how easy it is to blackmail people? It is hella easy. which is why they do it all the time. It's done all the time, all of the time. So these people with the same degrees as the other 15 scientists are going to go into these organizations with a different intention in mind. Different intention. They have the same expertise with a different intention. In a similar environment, you're going to have very different outcomes. There are great doctors, and there are shiesty as fuck doctors out there. There are great scientists, and there are shady as shit scientists. Okay? There are very honorable billionaires and billionaires that would rather see the world burn for their profit. All of that is true. So do not get it twisted that a person's expertise or a person's wealth denotes automatically their intention for the rest of us. Do not get that twisted. It is not equal. Just because someone knows something doesn't mean they're using it for the benefit of all. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Are you getting this right now? This is really important. Because we're throwing out things on social media. We're like, yeah, but science says you can wear a bandana. That will help as a mask because the particles. I'm like, and then someone had the audacity to say on that thread when I was talking about the mask, like, well, you're gonna go get a test for something. It's like you can pick and choose what you like about science. It's like, no, because me having or not having a UTI is not part of a fucking agenda. No one cares. But mass controlling the population to behave a certain way, lots of people care about that. Ain't nobody care about my individual test results. Nobody cares, right? We've forgotten science is not all created equal, just like education is not all created equal, just like service is not all created equal. Like, it's not the same. Are we blind? Have we forgotten? Are we just giving away our voice and our intuition? Okay, and this is where this conversation becomes really important because unlike science, which is given to us and we learn from it and then we become informed by the system that we've been exposed to, you are born with intuition, unlike what you've been told and learned and programmed with. You're born with that. You're born with a gut feeling. You're born with an ability to say, does this sit right in my soul? Yes or no? You are born with that. You are born with it. And unfortunately, we as a collective have given so much power and emphasis to pieces of paper and experts, we've forgotten how to listen to what's happening inside. When we feel the contraction and we're like, whoa, this is too much, or, oh yes, this feels exciting, or yes, this feels like it could be. We don't know how to talk to ourselves. We have no sense of internal dialogue with us. We are completely disconnected. And that is a massive problem. Massive. And this is part of the evolution of grays. So this is going into my alien speak, which I talk about a lot, but the evolution of that civilization, they became so mental. They lost their ability to feel, to sense, to intuit. Okay, that's part of their demise as a race. Right? And here we are following in those same goddamn footsteps. We're not even taking the time to sit with, how does this feel in my being? And what does that even mean? Right? We don't even know what that feels like. We don't even know what it feels like to sit with ourselves. We don't even know what it feels like to sit with information and let it process and get some sort of response from ourselves. Like, we don't know. We've forgotten. But you know who does know, who does remember? Watch a child. Watch a child when they come in contact with someone and they don't feel safe. A 1-year-old, they can't tell you, I don't like this person because blah, 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 blah. But you can sure as hell tell when you hand a 1-year-old to someone or you put them in the vicinity of someone, they have an immediate reaction. How many of you have noticed that? How many of you have noticed that, especially if you're parents and you're watching this, that your kids respond differently to different people without really knowing why? Animals do that shit too. Pets do that all the time. Dogs like and don't like certain people. Why? It's intuitive. It's instinctive. It's just a thing. They feel, right? There's no way to categorize that. We have that too. We were born with that. Every being has that. But unless we start giving that as equal significance as we do mental fortitude and experience and expertise, we need to take that shit off the pedal it's been put on. It's been exalted way too much. So much so that we are literally handing over our basic freaking human rights because experts said whatever the F, without asking ourselves, okay, that person knows XYZ, but what is the intention? What does that person have to win or gain or lose, or why would they be doing that? We don't even ask the question. We're just like, they said. So there we go. What do you mean they said? Why? Why did they say? Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, this is a deep ass conversation. This is not as simple as they said, therefore we do. Negative, my friends. Negative. It's not that simple. It's not. And it's really important that we begin to remember where the hell we came from and what the hell we knew before we were told stuff, before we were programmed against our own wisdom, because we have been systematically. Don't trust what you feel. Trust what you can prove. Put it in the scientific method. If it doesn't fit the scientific method, don't fucking trust it. Really? Interesting. Right? And this push to eliminate faith gatherings, and this push to not talk about faith publicly. Why? Why? Because it doesn't fit the scientific method. It doesn't fit that. That's not what they want. They don't want you believing things you can't put in a method. They want you to only believe things you can test. Why? Ask yourselves. One of the biggest things I tell my children is trust your intuition. Of course, kids know. Molly, they're experts. Kids are already wired experts. They came from source. They're pure. They're good. You know, we can learn a lot from them because we get programmed, and then we just program our kids and we send them to schools that are programming them against their own intuition. And then we wonder why our kids are freaking nuts, why they're struggling, and why society looks crazy. No, don't wonder. Don't wonder. We don't remember. We don't talk to ourselves. We don't connect with ourselves. We don't honor ourselves. We're so obsessed with what we can see, what we can pull apart. We have completely lost everything else. Don't wonder. This is important, y'all. So when you're reading stuff online and when you're consuming information, don't just read it and be like, an expert wrote that, therefore, blah, 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 blah. No. I want you to read stuff. I want you to take that information into your body. I want you to sit with it in your body, and I want you to ask the question, how does it sit in my body? When this person is speaking, how do I feel? Do I want to contract and like run, or like, is there like resistance? Do I feel knot in my stomach? Or when this person is speaking, am I like, wow, am I leaning in? Am I interested? Are my eyes opening up? Do I feel this interest in learning more? Ask yourself those questions when you're consuming information. Don't just share the first thing that comes across your news feed. Don't just consume stuff and say, oh, it must be true because the Washington Post. For the love of God, stop reading the Washington Post, first of all. Ask yourself that question. How does this sit in my being? How does this sit in my spirit? What is this thing that I'm consuming? And I promise you, it will tell you. It will lead you, you know? And if you don't believe that your information warfare is happening right now, and if you think YouTube is like blocking videos and suspending content because they want to protect you, you are blind. Straight up, my friend. It is not about you. They want to control the narrative. So anything that goes against the narrative will be eliminated. That's what's happening. Feel into that. Feel into how censorship feels to you. Does it feel good that only certain things can be shared and said? Does that really feel good to you? Or does it concern you, but you're not giving that a voice? Should. That's not should. There are so many red flags popping up right now, everywhere. And we need to be vigilant, super vigilant about that. Because it is not going to get easier. It will eventually, but not right now. So be your own barometer Learn how to sense information and the value of it for yourself. Make time to reconnect with how you feel into things. Meditate, breathe, spend time outside, eat clean food. Use this time to stop congesting yourself with garbage that's making it hard for you to sense and have intuition. Honor your internal barometer. You are so wise and so capable of determining truth from fiction. You don't need a fact checker, which, by the way, they're all bots. They're all bots. Don't use fact checkers. Feel it in your dang body. You were born with one. You can tell. Okay? Stay vigilant. By the way, one of my Patreons brought up the idea, my patrons, of moving all of this content to just Patreon, and I might have to, because a lot of these videos are getting shut off and YouTube is deleting stuff, so I might very well have to move all of this content over there. So if you're not yet part of that community, then consider joining that community, because that's where this content's going to be. The link is actually right there on the screen. But this is where it's come to, where I now have to start looking at other platforms where I can even share any of this stuff, because you're just being shut down left and right every day. Why? Because people are listening to people like us, citizen journalists, people who are sharing truths. They go against the mainstream narrative, and so they're being shut down. Nobody really wants to listen to the news anymore because everybody knows that they're fake. So now they're coming to people like us, and that's why we're getting it. Short stick, shut down. That's what's happening. That's why the videos are disappearing. Not to protect you, not to keep you from false information, to keep you from any information that doesn't align with the narrative they want you to know. That's why it's happening. Okay. So the moment you see that something is starting to be taken down in mass, you want to know what that is. You want to find that information. So just saying, stay vigilant, honor your intuition. Do not put expertise, do not equate expertise to intention, first of all, and do not put ever the mind and what it can accomplish over the internal sense of knowing who you are and what is true. Never. It should never be valued more than what you were born with. That needs to be valued above all. And that's where we've all gone wrong as a collective. We honored what we could get materially and what we could do with our brain more than who we are and where we came from. And so now here we are. This is the truth. This is what happened. So I hope that as a collective, we can get on that bandwagon of truly honoring who we are, where we came from, the core of our divinity, the source of our being, and switch the game on them and decide that we've had enough of this twisted ass reality, because I sure have. I hope that we can all do that together. All right, this was a little bit extra. My Fireside Friday chats are on Friday, so catch me there for those on my page and also on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll be live on there. And I just dropped an energy report today for the full moon, so watch that, because the energy report was so on target. Those cards were 100% accurate. It was so good. Yeah, and tonight I'm doing a backstage for my highest tier on the Patreon. So if you're there, if you're part of that community of the high tier, then you're going to get some card pulls and some downloads for you, and that'll be really exciting. Yeah, it's so crazy. See, Kobe just shared, now that video keeps getting shut down, people everywhere urging the people to check the shit in video before sharing, because yeah, of course, everyone wants to call her a hoax, by the way. Everyone is going to demolish Dr. Makovich's identity right now. This is something I was going to talk about on Friday. Everyone's going to try and take her down. Everyone's going to pull up dirt. Everyone who doesn't want you to hear what she has to say is going to try and make her seem like an absolute lunatic. Of course they are. Of course they are. They do not want you to listen to her. So anybody that has such a stronghold against them, you need to wonder why. If somebody has so much being said about them, whether it's President Trump or Hillary Clinton or Judy Mikovich, whoever that is, you got to pay attention. Because when so much drama is following a person, there's got to be something to the drama. There's either something they don't want you to know, which is more often the case, or they want you to think differently about that person than you should actually be thinking. They want to control your narrative towards that person for a very specific reason. Okay? So, do not blindly accept what you are told. Ask questions. Ask questions. And honor your internal barometer of wisdom. You were born with it. It's not broken. It's not missing. It's within you. Pay attention to it. Ask for it to come back online and make a daily effort to connect with it. And I promise you that it will be possible for you. Okay? I will see you guys for more of this on Friday. If you're interested, have an awesome Thursday.